Hi, and welcome back to this second hour of this Thursday edition of Focal Point on AFR Talk. I want to commission all of you to be rooting for my Giants tonight, down 2-1 in the NLCS. Now, Rob, my director's in there trying to slow me down and tell people to root for the Cards. Not the deal. Rob doesn't have the mic. I get the mic, and the appeal now to the Focal Point listening audience be pulling for the Giants, not for the Cards tonight. Now, a couple things. I want to talk about this business with Islam just for a second, because you've seen the news about this individual that was here on a student visa. And now that tells you something. We got a student that was here, an individual that was here on a student visa that tried to blow up the Federal Reserve Bank. It's interesting to me. I think it was ABC News and I think the New York Times. I read both of their stories on this guy who tried to blow up the Federal Reserve Bank in New York in the name of Allah. And they were 700 to 800 word articles. One of them was 739 words. The other was 789 words or 779 words. Anyway, fairly lengthy stories. And they wrote those entire stories without using the word Islam or Muslim a single time. You'd never know. If you didn't know, you'd never know that these people in some way or another were connected to their Islamic faith. Now, he's here on a student visa. So that tells you something about granting student visas to Muslim students. Every time you invite one of those into this country, you have no idea what you're getting. I'm not saying they're all suspicious. They're all trying to blow us up, but I'm saying some of them are, and we have no way to tell the difference between the Muslim students on visas who want to blow us up and the ones who just want to get an education. We've got no way to tell the difference, and until we do, I think we have to be extremely careful with all of them. Now, this guy on a student visa, 21 years old, and he said his goal, this is a New York Post. Now, they're willing to shoot straight here with their readers. His goal was Muslim global domination. That's what he was about. He said this. He didn't know he was talking to FBI guys. I don't want something that's like small. I just want something big, something very big, very, 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 very big that will shake the whole country, that will make America not one step ahead, change a policy, and make one step ahead for the Muslims, that will make us one step closer to run the whole world. So he said, look, I want to make a very, very big statement for the Muslims. That's a quote. Whatever, the New York Times and ABC News, they didn't include that quote. You know why? Because it had the word Muslims in it. And they're still trying to shill for the Islamic faith. And he says, look, I want to take a step that will make us, meaning us Muslims, one step closer to running the whole world. Now, what this tells me, ladies and gentlemen, if you hear a Muslim say that he wants to destroy the United States, I think we better believe him. I think we better take them at their word. We think it just sounds so bizarre to us that somebody want to do it. We find it hard to believe that somebody would actually be serious about that. We just think they're blowing smoke, or they're hyperventilating, or they're just venting. If you have a Muslim that says he wants to destroy America, I think we better believe him, because this guy was serious about it. He thought he was going to blow up the Federal Reserve. I mean, he actually pushed the buttons on the cell phone, thinking he was going to obliterate the Federal Reserve building in Manhattan. And he said this, all I had in mind is how to destroy America. I came up to this conclusion that targeting America's economy is the most efficient way to draw the path of obliteration of America. I says, I want to destroy America. I want to obliterate America. And do not forget, this is exactly the stated goal of the Muslim Brotherhood. This is what they want to do in North America. They want to eliminate and destroy Western civilization. That's their goal. I think we got to believe them. CARE, Islam, Muslim Student Associations, all of them have exactly the same goal. They want to eliminate and destroy Western civilization. And it's just frankly stupid that we're letting them do it. We're letting them organize. We're letting them seed sow their seeds of sedition and treason all over the United States. And he quoted, this guy that wanted to blow up the Federal Reserve, he quoted our beloved Sheikh Osama bin Laden. And that's how he justified the fact that he was going to kill women and children. He said, I don't care, because this is what our beloved Sheikh Osama bin Laden taught us was okay. And by the way, And yesterday a guy from Iran, a Muslim from Iran, he pleaded guilty to trying to blow up a restaurant in D.C. He was working with the Iranians to try to take out a Saudi ambassador, but he was going to do it by blowing up a restaurant in Washington, D.C. He didn't care if innocent men, women, and children were killed. That was all part of the collateral damage. You still have the Saudi Arabian government out there publishing textbooks. 7 American publishers made an appeal to Saudi Arabian government, stop publishing textbooks that are used in American schools that say the apes are the people of the Sabbath, the Jews, and the swine are the infidels of the communion of Jesus, the Christians. So Saudi Arabia is still publishing these books. They're still used in the United States in these Saudi schools that say that Jews are apes and Christians are swine. So there it is, 7 American publishers trying to talk them out of doing it. Now, I had one other thought on that Islamic thing. Maybe it'll come to me here in just a moment. But let's grab a couple of more phone calls before we're done with this segment. Let's go to David, West Lafayette, Indiana. David, welcome to Focal Point with Brian Fisher. What's on your mind?
Hi, Brian.
Hey.
This is Dave.
Hey, Dave.
Great to talk to you.
Good to talk to you.
I totally agree with you on your shows. One of the worries I have in this country is you can't get real truthful information unless you come to shows like yours, because the media is so biased. They spin the things just like Obama does, just like in the abate the other night.
Mm-hmm.
And when somebody tries to filter that out, you have so many people on his side that are eating out of his hand and so blind about what some of these factions in this world are trying to do to us. And they don't realize that as Christians, we are labeled as haters now. And, what scary thing is, I watched a movie that was made by, I don't know if I can say his name on there, but it's John Hagee.
Yes.
And he made a movie, and it was about the end times and everything, and it was very prophetic because the Christians were being labeled as haters because they were speaking about the great words of our Lord in the Bible. And today, if you say anything that's against that, anything at all against anything else, in a nice way, you're labeled as a hater, you're fired, or you're arrested, and it's really scary times.
Yes,
and,
it certainly is that.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I appreciate that call, Dave. Thank you for that from West Lafayette, Indiana. And by the way, it came to me, so you have this thing turned upside down where the people that are the haters, the people that are the bullies, the people that are the intolerant ones, they accuse us of being the haters. They accuse us of being the bullies. They accuse us of being the intolerant ones when they have absolutely no space and room in their world for us. And by the way, I thought of what that other Islamic thing was. The National Geographic television, National Geographic, they've had to beef up security at their Washington headquarters because they have been bombarded by threats from Muslims. They've got a movie showing on November 4 that's taken out Osama bin Laden, that dramatizes the killing of Osama bin Laden. Remember, I read you the quote from the guy that tried to blow up the Federal Reserve, our beloved Osama bin Laden. He is an icon in the Muslim world. National Geographic, and the filmmaker here is one of big-time Obama supporters. Now, the Muslims are already threatening to blow National Geographic's offices up. Will Obama arrest the filmmaker? Back in 2.